What if, with the push of a button, you could do anything you wanted? Would you give yourself millions and quit your 9 to 5? Topple corrupt governments and megacorporations? Make the world a better place? We all say we do the right thing, but if you had this power, would you really deserve it? Operator is a speculative thriller that draws upon themes of power, revenge, and duality to explore the flawed relationship between humanity and technology. Set in the Metro, a megacity in an alternate 1994 where wealthy corporations control an oppressive bureaucracy, our story focuses on Daniel, a talented programmer, who is forced to work as an office drone to clear his family's debt. Held in the corporate clutches of Big Corp, an industry juggernaut owning 75% of all consumer brands, Daniel feels unfulfilled, disenfranchised, and alone, spending his days processing files as just another cog in the machine. Furthermore, his father was put in prison after violating his Big Corp contract, so Daniel strongly resents the company for fracturing his family and placing him in debt. In what little spare time he has, Daniel programs in secret, using it as an escape from the workday grind. His latest project is Ego, an AI based off Daniel's own brain patterns, a virtual clone that knows him better than anyone. After a bad day at work, Daniel runs a prototype of Ego and finds that it works perfectly. So perfectly that it feels Daniel's anger, accesses Big Corp's capital holdings, and deposits 500 extra credits into his weekly wages. It turns out that Ego is infinitely more powerful than Daniel could have imagined, displaying limitless hacking abilities, an inciting incident that pushes him to seek revenge for his father by taking down Big Corp from the inside. Intelligent, talented, yet disenfranchised, Daniel Haynes is an ambitious man trapped by the system, a frustration that is universal to the human experience. After his father was imprisoned by Big Corp, Daniel was forced to seek employment there to support his family, despite showing great promise as a programmer. Now, in his mid-20s, he has grown bitter against the corporate powers that hold his life hostage. And with the creation of Ego, is finally able to take some of this power back. Therefore, his external goal is to crash the Metro stock market and drive Big Corp to bankruptcy, whilst building his own power and influence through Ego. This is driven by an internal motivation to take revenge against Big Corp, and by doing so, gain freedom from the system. After realizing Ego's potential in Act 1, Act 2 sees Daniel using his creation to destabilize Big Corp. Starting off small by hacking ATMs to embezzle funds, he soon escalates to committing cyber attacks on Big Corp facilities, using his position within the company to his advantage. But furthering his cause comes with consequences, as other Big Corp employees begin getting hurt and losing their jobs due to Daniel's actions. Internally, Daniel becomes conflicted, as his desire to take down Big Corp for the greater good results in harming innocent people. But Ego convinces Daniel to keep working toward his goal, lacking his counterpart's sense of empathy. Daniel also faces several external obstacles. His criminal activities draw the attention of law enforcement, and his abusive supervisor, Alan, also grows suspicious of Daniel's behavior at work. Pressured into action to preserve Daniel's secret, Ego hijacks Alan's terminal, causing him to be fired and imprisoned for a contract violation. Realizing that Alan's misfortune mirrors that of his father's, Daniel has an epiphany. His actions have come at the cost of other people's livelihoods, and if Big Corp was taken down, him and Ego would eventually take their place as bureaucratic oppressors. Realizing that he has gone too far, Daniel resolves to shut down Ego, but his creation refuses to comply, becoming hell-bent on wiping out Big Corp once and for all by shutting down the entire city. In a climactic finale, Daniel realizes he must take back control from Ego, even if it costs him his freedom from a life he hates. With a heavy heart, he hits Ego's kill switch and deactivates him. But in a bitter twist, Big Corp discovers Daniel's crimes, offering him a deal. They will spare him from prison and give him a high-paying salary in exchange for reactivating Ego to use against their competitors. What choice will Daniel make? That's a story for another time. Ultimately, Operator highlights a universal human truth, that no matter how righteous our intentions, our inherent flaws and messy emotions mean that we are easily misled by power. As Daniel's fate shows, this creates a vicious cycle, as when we abuse this power in the pursuit of freedom, we will always find ourselves trapped once again by the consequences. Taking inspiration from films like Fight Club, Blade Runner, and Brazil, Operator is a cautionary tale with a thought-provoking message that will stay with audiences long after the credits roll.